Hello, Dave. We're going to do the second lesson. Now, if you hear some sounds, it's because we're driving up to Idaho right now. But it's a great time to record something. So, today I'm going to introduce you to Get and public and private SSH keys. I'll explain a little bit what that is. And then we're also going to set up a basic HTTP server from scratch. So, let's dig right into it. So, the first thing we're going to do before we get on this, you're going to go to github.com. And I've already signed up for an account. But here, I'll sign out so you can see what it looks like here. Sign out from all accounts. And then you're going to go ahead and sign up and go through their little things. And you go ahead and create an account. So I'm going to log in, but you finish signing up. Second. Okay, once you're in, what you're going to do is you're going to find your little picture on the right here, and then you go to settings, I believe it is. We'll find out here real quick. Yes, and SSH and GPC keys. So your authentication keys you should not have in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a terminal. Here, let me close all these ones. This other one running from the other day. And I'm going to clear that. Now I'm going to go cd tilde. And what that's going to do, that's going to put you in your home directory. So on the Mac, it's going to be users, Kevin. As you recall, the home directory on, well, if you remember, on Linux, since we were aligned as root, it was just /root. But inside of here, you do ls-la, and so you have a lot of things. But there's a .ssh folder. You probably don't have yours yet, but mine is in there, and we'll go and create yours in a second. And inside of there, I have a couple different files. Now, you're not going to have all of these files here, but we're just going to generate you an ID RSA and an ID RSA. So let me explain a little bit what a public and a private key is. Basically, we're going to generate two keys, and one of them you can give to anyone. In this case, we're going to give it to GitHub, but you can put on servers and other things. And then what happens is there's a whole sequence of like cryptographic signatures and stuff, and I never even learned it all fully. It's some people love that stuff. I don't find it as interesting, but conceptually, you're able to use the private key to essentially say I am so and so, and they're able to use the public key that you gave them to validate it. So in the case of GitHub, what we're going to do is we're going to store all your code on GitHub. This is the world's biggest source code repository. And then as we push and pull code, we're not going to be typing in passwords all the times. Rather, in the background, it's going to be using your SSH key. So let me give you an example here. So it's going to generate one. And it's okay if you don't fully understand it. So generate SSH key. You do the first one in Google, and you'll see that the first one is right here. Just go ahead and copy that. That should be fine. That should be great. And paste it in here, and just anywhere in your terminal. So you can just go back to cd tilde. I'm going to move my old SSH folder, old for a second, so I don't have one. And I'm going to generate a new one just for fun. m.into@gmail.com. And actually, before we do that, let me just so tilde. Let me just show you that I no longer have a .ssh folder. .ssh folder. It's kind of the where is it? Yeah. So I don't have one. So I'm going to generate one over here, and by default, it's going to want to do it inside of the .ssh folder. And you just hit enter. You don't have to do anything. Don't add a passphrase. We can talk about that later. And boom, bada boom. So now, exit that one, cd.ssh. I now have a spanking new private and public key. So just for fun, I'm going to cat those out. So I'm going to cat out the private key first. And I know it's private because it doesn't have the .pub on it. And that's it. It's just a bunch of goobly gosh. And I'm also just for fun going to output the public key, and it's even smaller. But anyway, this is what we're going to give to GitHub. So all you have to do is type cat ID. It might be a little bit different, but .pub, and go ahead and copy whatever is on that. Copy whatever is on that. Let's see. And let's go back to GitHub here. I'm going to say new SSH key. You're going to call it Dave's MacBook. And it's an authentication key, and you just paste it in there. Now, I'm not actually going to add this one because I already have mine, but you get the idea. So let me go back to here. I'm actually going to remove the SSH folder I just created. I'm going to move my old SSH folder back to its location. So SSH, yeah. So my keys are back. So now what we're going to do is inside of GitHub. Now that you have that configured, you're going to go click repositories, and you're just going to click new. Now I already created this Tech Foundations one. Go ahead and create one called Tech Foundations. And go ahead and make it a public one. We're not going to put anything. You can make yours private. It's fine. I mean, mine's public, and because there's not anything exciting here. And just create repository. So I'll just create a new one for fun here. So on this one, what we're going to do is click the .ssh, because like I said, if we do the HTTPS, it's going to have you type the password every time, and we're not going to do that. And definitely don't download their desktop client. It's a terrible idea. So SSH, and it'll begin with get at, and so copy that. Let's go to your terminal. Now go cd tilde. So now we're in your home directory, and you won't have one, but go ahead and do mkdir source, and it'll make a source directory. So do mkdir source, enter, then do cd source. You can do ls. Now you can see I already have a lot of repositories in here, right? But now go git clone, and I'll explain what git is here in a moment, and you're going to paste that thing in. Boom, bada boom. So now we're going to go cd tech foundations. 1, 2, 3 is what I called this one. And do this if you haven't already done it. Go to your VsCode, and I think it's Command P is the default one, but just type in. Anyway, we want to add VsCode to your terminal path so you can access it on your terminal, and then you just say path, and it should say shell command install code to path. So hit enter on that. Now I'm going to do code dot, and what the dot says. So let's see where we're at. So on the file system, pwd will show you that I'm on the users folder in Kevin. So I'm in my home folder essentially, in my source directory inside of Tech Foundations 1, 2, 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do code dot, and dot means the directory that I'm currently in. So we now open this up. And let's go ahead and let's make a file. Let's say cool.txt. Hello, my friends. And save it. Now, this is what Git is. What does Git even stand for? It's been so long since I used to know this. Git stand for global. No, that's not it. Meaning of Git. Source code, whatever. I can't remember what it stands for. But Git is what it is. Let me just show you what it is. It's a version control system. And the reason why we use it is we want to be able to track all the changes in code, every period that changes, every little thing we want to know. So inside, we're just going to use the one inside VS Code right now. There's this little thing over here called source control. And it's saying, hey, I noticed that you have a Git repository here. Right now, if I go to the terminal, now if I type ls in this directory, you can see that cool.txt is there. I can do ls-la, and there's actually a hidden folder called .git. And what that is, inside of that folder, it is going to track all the different versions of code over time. So it can see here, it's like, hey, I've noticed that you have a new file. Do you want to add this? And I say, yeah, let's add this to our repository and add a message for your commit message. Added a file. And then we're going to click commit. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to push it. And once that little thing stops, let's go back to GitHub. And what we did is we just pushed it up to GitHub. So you can see here that this repository, the file that's on your computer, it now exists in this GitHub repository. And we can see there's one commit. And so you can see your entire history. So if we go to this commit, you can see that this commit, we added one file, cool.txt, and we added one line. Let's do something a little bit more complicated so you can see what that looks like. So let's go back to the files here. And now we're going to add a new file, and we're going to call this cat.txt. Hello, let's do something a little better. Let's do index.html. Just for fun, we're going to do HTML. We have a head inside here. Sure, we'll do a title, hello world, a body. And we'll just add some, this is an example page. Yay. Okay, so now that we have, and let's go ahead and we're going to add one character. Hello, my good friends. So you can see here that if we go to source code, as you can see there's a few different changes. We can double click on this, and you can see that it's saying this is what the old line looks like, this is what the new line looks like. So it shows one line changed. You can double click on this one and it's saying all these lines are new. Let's go ahead and add both of those. And we'll say another commit. And hit commit. And let's just do a few more here. So you kind of, here, we're going to close all these here. Hello, this is an example page. And we'll just add two more explanations here. So once again, there's some changes. I can click on it. And you can see in this view that it's saying that, hey, these lines didn't change, but this line changed. And you can see that, that's a slightly darker green. So it's saying those are the characters that were added. We're going to add that, and we'll say yet another commit. And I'm curious, I actually don't use this that often, but like ever. But this is interesting. So this is, you can see that we essentially have two commits that we haven't pushed up to GitHub. So if we go to GitHub, if we refresh this, you'll notice that it still just knows the one commit. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click sync changes. You can also just do push. That's going to do the same thing. This action will pull and push commits from the original main. Great. We're going to let this push. You can do this all in the command line, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So it's saying, okay, this is now in sync with here. So if I refresh this page, I'm expecting this to change to 3 commits because it has our original commit, and then we added a couple others. So let's go ahead and refresh the page. And sure enough, we're up to 3 commits. And I can click on that and I can see the entire history of what changed, right? And I can click into, let's just do the last one there. I can see like, okay, on this commit, we just changed one file and it looks like he added 2 exclamation marks. So that's kind of the high level view of Git and version control, and you use it a lot. This is actually the way that we're going to push code back and forth to each other all the time. Now there's other pieces of it, right? Like what happens when both of us change the same file at the same time. It creates a conflict, and there's ways of resolving that. But we can talk about that later. But for just your own little project, what we're going to have you do is we're going to have you, let's see here, we're going to have you use Git. So let's go into here. Okay, so we created a public and private key. Great. Set up a GitHub account. You should have added it to your account. We created a basic, and you should have used the basic Git commands with VsCode. Okay, we'll come back to this. We'll do that on a later one. The final thing I want to talk about is in here, what happens if you have files that you don't want committed, right? Like, let me give you an example. So one file that you often end up using on servers in particular is a .env file. And what you're going to do is you're going to put all your secret API keys, things that let you access all these like third-party services that you would never want to commit to your repo because you know they're secret. It's like passwords to things. So in this case, let's suppose I create an env file, and I'll just say API key equals, password 123. Now, by default, if I go over here, it sees it as a file that we want to commit. So the final thing we can do is we can add a special file called .gitignore. And inside this file, I'm going to put .env files. So it's going to know to ignore env files. So now when I go here, it's not offering to do that. Let me show you another example. We're going to go ahead and npm init-y. So I just added a package.json file. We're going to make a node project here. And now I'm just for fun, I'm going to do add. Yeah, we'll do npm install TypeScript. And as soon as it's done, holy cow, there's 116 files it wants to commit. The reason is because it sees this node modules folder and it thinks, okay, there's new files. This is an example for third-party libraries. They always go in like some sort of folder. In Node, they call it node modules. You always end up adding those. We're going to do node modules. We're going to add that to our ignore, and great. Now it can see that we have a package lock, and get ignore files. So let's add those. Added get ignore and a package. We'll just say and whatever. We'll just say that. It doesn't matter. This is all throwaway. So once again, it's going to say, hey, there's some changes. We will sync it up. Yeah, go ahead. And if we go back to GitHub, let's go to this here again. Now there's 4 commits. Now, the thing that's nice is I can add you to a repository, or you could add me. And so like, if I was cloning this down for the first time, but like, I could go here and I could clone it, and then I'd clone it down. So that is kind of a very brief intro to setting up with Git.